We are thinking of all those in the path of Michael, the worst hurricane to ever hit the Florida Panhandle, and the storm is on the move this morning.
Michael is now a tropical storm barreling through the Carolinas. The area, of course, already hit so hard by Hurricane Florence just last month.
It made landfall as a Category 4 hurricane, almost Category 5, packing winds up to 155 miles an hour. Strongest storm to hit the U.S. in nearly 50 years. Look at that wind right there now. Hundreds of thousands of people across Florida and Georgia waking up to scenes of total devastation. You see this school right here completely destroyed.
Yes, our team was there on the ground as Michael roared ashore, and they are spread out across the storm zone for us again this morning. World News Tonight anchor David Muir leads us off from Panama City. Good morning, David.
Robin, good morning. One word for Hurricane Michael: historic. This was a Category 4 hurricane, and keep in mind it was just shy of a Category 5 when it made landfall. Winds of 155 miles per hour, and the scope of the devastation now with the sun coming up here this morning is really staggering. I want to show you, this is the hotel that we were reporting from here yesterday. It's also the hotel where so many families sought refuge. They had been told by authorities to seek higher ground, to go to a hotel with concrete or steel reinforcements, and this was one of them, which explains why we were here as well. And as we were on the air, the sheer force of this hurricane brought a huge part of this roof crashing down. You can see the vehicles trapped underneath. That's one of our trucks right there. Other cars also trapped off in the distance. And I wanted to show you, you can see what's dangling from the top of this hotel. This is where we were. So many of the families who had sought shelter here were standing there behind us when this happened. And that was really the signal to get into the hallways and get into the stairwell, brick reinforced stairwells where we all rode out this hurricane.
Hurricane Michael is the strongest hurricane to hit the U.S. since 1969, ripping through the southeast, leaving a path of destruction in its wake. The monster storm slamming into Florida's Panhandle, making landfall near Mexico Beach just before 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Winds at 155 miles an hour, just shy of a Category 5 hurricane. The terrifying winds and torrential rain submerging whole neighborhoods, tearing apart homes and buildings. Here in Panama City, communities taking a brutal beating. The storm peeling off rooftops and swaying palm trees, throwing debris around in all directions. Watch as fierce winds tear apart this Panama City home. This is the first Category 4 hurricane to ever hit the region. We were on the air the moment the outer eye wall of the hurricane approached.
This hurricane is about to make landfall, again, not far from where we are right now. I want to show you behind me some of the damage it's already done. You can see the trees here. One of them has already come down behind us.
Watch the waves crashing ashore. The National Weather Service buoy measuring some waves more than 30 feet before making landfall, before that buoy stopped working. Transformers bursting behind us.
You see that?
Our team watching the storm's fury from between reinforced concrete walls at this hotel.
We are seeing the brunt of the most dangerous part of the storm begin to move in. Trees are coming down in front of us. Power lines have come down. And I just want you to hear what it sounds like standing out here, just the sheer force of this. Listen to this.
Just a short time later, with so many of the families seeking shelter here, we watched as part of the hotel roof collapsed.
It's gonna go, it's gonna go. You can see the roof of the hotel that we had been standing out there. That was the shelter for a Category 4 hurricane. That has now come down on those SUVs.
Moments later, the windows shattered. The view from the highest floor of the hotel, providing a view of the destruction.
Just the stunning amount of damage. I mean, it's almost apocalyptic. Those are the roads, the streets surrounding the hotel, completely covered in water.
And when the storm finally passed through, the scale of the devastation coming into focus. Signs of destruction everywhere, a twisted boardwalk, debris piercing through this car's windshield, and the windows of our third-floor hotel room had blown right out.
You can see that the streets are completely flooded.
And this stunning drone footage this morning revealing a school in Panama City completely destroyed. This dramatic video showing the moment a beachfront building under construction partially collapses, lashed by the high winds. While the system has now passed over the Panhandle, the next phase of this historic storm is just beginning.
We're turning 100% of our focus on search and rescue and recovery.
While hundreds of thousands were told to evacuate, many decided to stay. Colleen Swab of Panama City says she and her family rode out the hurricane in their downstairs closet.
We were hiding in the closet, and all I could hear was a lot of wind, and I thought the roof was going to come off.
Sabrina Marshall was also home with her family when Hurricane Michael bear down.
And that's when he said, move, 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 and the door flew open and the roof flew off.
This morning, massive power outages across Florida, Alabama, and Georgia. And Hurricane Michael, even as it hit Georgia, was not giving up. Still a Category 3 hurricane at that point, with plenty of punch. Thrashing winds tearing apart homes and uprooting trees, including this one, caught on a home security system.
It was terrifying, honestly. There was a lot of noise. We thought the windows were going to break, and we did whatever we could, just kind of hunkered down and tried to wait it out.
You can see the choppers overhead here this morning surveying the damage and obviously looking to see if there are people in need. That's one of the first choppers we've actually seen over this particular neighborhood here in the Panhandle. And what they're seeing from up above is something I'm sure they're seeing in so many communities. Just devastation, trees as though a saw came through and just cut them off. And the damage like what we were seeing here at the hotel. One of the things I was most concerned about was this gentleman right here. Carrie, you were in your truck when the roof came down. You had no choice but to stay in the truck. He was measuring. Too strong, right? But you're okay? I am. And we're glad to see that. You're back in your truck this morning, and he was measuring the pressure of this hurricane, continued to put his gauge out the window. Very brave of him, but we're just glad that he was okay. And we also checked the hallways of this hotel afterward to check on so many of the families here, because the windows in this hotel and so many of the rooms came crashing in, and many of the rooms, they were in a couple of inches of water, but everyone was okay here. Today, though, with the sun now coming up, obviously the scope of the damage here is widespread, just as families begin to go home and survey the damage to their own homes, but they have to be careful with all those power lines down. Robin, back to you.
All right, David, thank you so much, and glad that you and everybody there that was staying at that hotel safe and sound this morning. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.